Was that the first time you saw 2001: Space Odyssey?
No, I've seen it many times.
Do you always watch it all the way through?
Yeah. Sometimes when I've watched it, I've had to take a break and go to sleep and then watch the rest the next day because I was I don't know, stoned or whatever, and just had to fall asleep, and it was 2 a.m. and I was like, why did I even start this?
Yeah, I had no idea what I was getting into watching it. I've never. Yeah, I just
did you like it?
Yeah, it was much better than Higher Ground. High Place?
Yeah.
What was it called?
High Life or something?
High Life, yeah. It was much better than that. Though High Life resulted in a lot of questions. I find as I've talked about the movie, which I have been this week.
Yeah.
I just keep going, why did they do that? Or how? Or what was the reason? Why didn't they?
In terms of the plot and motivations and stuff?
Yeah, I think it's kind of... I think sci-fi as a genre, you should ask questions about what's going on, and it should make you think about how that works and how society would work. You should leave it thinking about it.
Yeah, it's giving you some kind of philosophical action plan when you consider it.
Yeah,
or whatever.
And that movie was so bad that I've done that even more than I normally do. So maybe it's some sort of meta. If you make a bad sci-fi movie, you'll think about it you should. I should think about that about 2001: Space Odyssey.
Yeah.
But I don't.
Yeah.
I think the chairs are cool. I think I was...
Yeah, the architecture and everything in that movie is fantastic.
And they made it all.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have computers.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes me think, if I got one of the chairs from 2001: Space Odyssey, would people notice?
Probably.
Or people say anything?
It probably cost you a lot of money.
Yeah, I assume they've since then become very expensive. I imagine in 1962 you could probably get them on the cheap.
Yeah.
But
there's those red ones that they had, and then there was the meeting room office ones that were square, bucket chairs kind of thing.
Yeah, it was they look comfy. Normally a lot of the modern sci-fi furniture doesn't look comfortable.
Yeah.
That stuff looked really comfortable.
And it has the modern look to it too. Sometimes the older sci-fi, it's wow, they really used a cheap piece of furniture, and they had no idea what the furniture trends were going to be. But.
Yeah, and it's all. I wonder if it just looks more accurate the longer it is out.
Yeah, it almost adds to the sci-fi because it's retro modern projected looks yeah.
And just because they had earphones, they had old or just regular earbuds.
Yeah.
In that movie, which in
I guess so.
in 1961 would have been what? How's that? But in 2001, that might not have been super accurate. I don't think we had those then. But now it's and they had tablets and stuff like that.
Well, and there was that whole span of a few years that goes from the second part to the third part of the movie, where it's 18 months later or whatever on the Jupiter mission. So
that was
It's a little weird to figure out how it all fits together.
Even that 18 months was weird.
Yeah.
Thinking that we are now just dabbling in Mars.
Yeah.
And how long as a planet we've been trying to go to space, and then 18 months they're already at Jupiter. They were just on the moon. Yeah, that movie is really good. It's really pretty. And I've never been to the Cinematheque. Is that how you say it? Cinematheque?
Yeah.
I guess it's the accent, yeah. I'm not up on my French accent. It would seem like a cool theater.
Yeah,
more
they're
serious.
Always playing good stuff.
Except for the High Life. But I think that was just in contrast.
Yeah,
cause...
good or stuff that you're not going to see anywhere else.
Yeah. And it's but it did feel more serious than there's that other theater downtown that a lot of the film festival stuff ends up on
oh yeah,
Davie and
the Scotiabank Theater or whatever.
Not Scotiabank. It's a tiny theater.
Okay.
I saw a movie about competitive tickling
called
Tickled. Or no, is it called Tickled?
Interesting.
If you Google competitive tickling movie, there's not
almost more smaller films there.
Yeah, and the Vancouver International Film Festival. I went and saw that. That tickling movie is great because it doesn't say anything on the poster. It just says magnificent movie. Unbelievable, and it's
sweet. And
it's just this. Yeah, I don't even want to say anything about it. Highly recommend it, especially if you're into activism. I would say
cool
because it's kind of got that. gumption to it.
Are we in the podcast right now?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah, no, I normally do a cold open. The
Okay, sweet.
official open is what's your name and what's your game?
Okay. I guess we're doing that right now.
Yeah. What's your name and what's your game?
I am Daffodil, and my game is Street Uni X.
Is there a dash between Uni and X?
No, just 3 separate things.
What's that acronym out to? Because that's important. Like when people talk on the internet, they'll
Oh,
acronym out your game.
it comes out to sucks.
Was
my game sucks.
Was that intentional?
Yeah, kind of. For a while, I was thinking like, oh, I don't know about this name. Like, it doesn't really roll off the tongue. But then I kept looking at the acronym being sucks, and I just thought it was like kind of funny and like more memorable than anything else I could come up with.
And I don't think there's another game that has that acronym, because there is kind of like, you'll just steal it. Like if your acronym was GTA, that would be difficult for people to not assume it's something else.
Totally. Yeah. And like, what was I going to say? Like, there goes my train of thought. It's cool though.
You got a Kickstarter coming.
Yeah.
Still?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Sweet.
Or I don't know when
I'm
people
going to try
listen
and
to
get this out as fast as possible, but...
So it's probably already out. Go to the Kickstarter page.
Yeah.
Street Uni X on Kickstarter.
Is that on Twitter too?
Yeah, Street Uni X on Twitter. @ Street Uni X. No spaces, dashes, or anything like that.
What's the tier list? I'm always super interested in the tiers.
Yeah, so... I forget the prices exactly off the top of my head.
We don't need to do prices. We don't want the consumers angry.
Yeah. Well,
they said $17. Yeah. It's $20.
Yeah, so...
The early birds are already sold out. Like, by the time you've heard this, all the early bird stuff is gone.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's the gimme... Or what was it called? It's like the I just want to give you my money tier, where you don't get anything. You just give me your money.
You get the updates.
The Kickstarter updates, yeah. Yeah.
Which I imagine you plan make those as great as possible.
Yeah. They're going to be super fantastic.
If it goes well, you're going to need to do one a day.
Yeah.
Like, I would have your first 10 updates.
I'll figure it out.
Good problem to have, yeah.
Yeah. And then there's the digital edition with the early bird for those. That gives you a copy of the game on release, which is, I'm aiming for around May 2021, maybe earlier, maybe later.
We'll edit that out.
Yeah, okay. Sweet.
Why, did you have like a reason for May? Is it like, is there any thought behind the month?
I just felt like I need like about 2 years to get the rest of the levels, characters, and mechanics done. Most of the mechanics are like implemented already, so it's just a matter of like grinding out assets now. Yeah.
Is it just a goal to get as many like street sports terms into this?
Oh, I didn't even notice. I've been so immersed in it that they've just penetrated my lexicon. But yeah, we've also got a tier for like development goodies, so you can get like a folder full of like early, like pre-Kickstarter builds, like images of in-progress assets, like things like that, or audio files that like we didn't end up using because they sounded cheesy or whatever.
Do you think? Have you thought about like how you want interactions with Kickstarter backers or your fans as far as development? Like how much kind of input? Have you thought about like what kind of stuff you want to get from them as far as feedback and input?
Yeah, I mean, mostly once the game's out there, just seeing them playing, like I feel like I have a pretty good eye for like picking up on what needs to change while watching people play. And I've done a fair bit of playtesting already, which has been like super valuable. But yeah, I'm just excited and like ready to start tackling bugs that I didn't realize were in there when people start making videos, or like listening for feedback. I know the controls are different than what people are going to be used to, because the game kind of projects itself as like an extreme sports game in like the PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2 era. And I've made it a little bit different to kind of encapsulate the nuance of unicycling. And also just because it's fun to learn a new system of mechanics.
Yeah, and especially with a mode of transportation that most people have not experienced, let alone experienced in a video game.
Yeah.
I always think it's weird when, like, even the BMX games of that era kind of had a weird, they're Tony Hawk in a BMX, and it felt kind of like you were just a skateboard in a 3D model.
Yeah, Matt Hoffman's Pro BMX was a little weird in terms of, like, because it was like Activision licensed out the Pro whatever aesthetic to make this game, and like it felt like it was the same kind of thing, but it was kind of tight and like, I don't know, sludgy in a way. And then there was Dave Mira's Freestyle BMX, which was like made by the team who made Thrasher, Skate and Destroy, and it was like more, quote, I'm doing air quotes, realistic.
That was the one I played.
Yeah, that one is good. That's like the BMX game to play.
And that has the Sublime song?
Oh, I don't know. Sublime's in a few of them, actually.
I feel like that was my introduction to Sublime. Or whoever did the That's What I Got.
It's what I got.
That one.
I remember that.
Like, it was something that I never would have heard because of my age.
Yeah, I think that is in Dave Mira's.
Like, Offspring had a run, but I didn't really hear real Offspring.
Yeah. Well, and Crazy Taxi.
I played Crazy Taxi. Yeah. I was like, oh, Offspring could sound like this. It's not Pretty Fly for a White Guy and all that. That era of Offspring that I was of age for.
Yeah.
Did you play Sean Palmer's
Pro Snowboarder?
Yeah.
Not since around when it came out.
Yeah, same. Apparently, I was pushing it on my friends.
Oh, yeah?
I had a PS2 nice. As part of my 30th birthday celebration. Apparently, I was constantly pushing that in high school in trades. Always trying to get Sean Palmer's off out of my collection.
Well, that was like the first kind of legit, like, trying to be like realistic snowboarding game I played. Because before that, there was Cool Boarders, which had that sort of anime aesthetic to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it was cool how you could, like, if you still had time on the run, you could, like, get in the snowmobile and go back to the top.
Yeah. Yeah. It was, but I mean, are you the same in the Tony Hawk 2 as your favorite of those?
I mean, I like a lot of them. I like all of them for different reasons.
Even Ride?
Are
you going to have Tony Hawk Ride support?
Like, with the controller? Doubt it. Maybe
that'd be a good stretch goal.
There is a game out there called Perfect Stride by a team called Arcane Kids that I think would be perfect for the Ride controller.
Yeah,
but they haven't implemented it. So
I was in a Future Shop when Tony Hawk Ride came out.
Yeah,
because it came out a while ago. And saw this cool guy come in. Like, he obviously looked like he skateboarded.
Yeah.
Like, he had the tight jeans and he looked like a cool guy.
Like a Circa t-shirt.
Yeah. Like, he was like like he worked at a tattoo shop.
Yeah.
Or something. Like there's that kind of, like,
that vibe.
That kind of punky metal thing where they have they've succeeded. Yeah. Kind of look.
Like, you know that they're being authentic. They're not just, like, putting on a show.
Yeah, but they've also somehow been able to capitalize on it in a way that...
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Walked up, looked at the Tony Hawk Ride stand, grabbed one of them, put him on the ground, did a kickflip
full on
with the ride, and landed it, and then went like, yeah, and then took it and bought it.
Nice.
I still to this day think that's an Activision plant.
Just every hour, they send him into the store so that he can, like, kickflip. And, yeah. Some kid goes, "Whoa, cool! I want to do that."
Yeah, because I don't. Yeah, that was a rough time. Also, I was talking to somebody that worked at Activision, and I didn't sign an NDA. And I think this is
nice.
Ultimately, not going to get me in trouble.
Okay,
but maybe
and it's been some time.
It's been 3-4 years since I heard this.
Yeah,
they said he told me that when they greenlit Tony Hawk Ride, they knew it would get like a 20 Metacritic. They were like, they were so on top of sales and what Metacritic means that they were able to greenlit it knowing that it was going to get a 20 Metacritic. And that blew my mind at the time.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. How would you feel pushing out a game that you know is going to tank in the ratings that bad?
I mean, I've done that because I worked on this game called Wipeout the Game for the Nintendo DS.
I know that game.
Not the
like
racing.
Like the TV show.
Yeah.
Like jumping on the big bouncy balls and stuff.
And that was one of the worst ideas I've ever heard. Because it's what's good about Wipeout. Watching
people bail.
People get messed up.
Yeah.
And what do you want to do as a player? Succeed.
Yeah.
and the only way it would have worked is if they made it like the skate injury stuff. That was the only way it was going. But they're not going to make that game.
And with like Tony Hawk Ride and Shred, like it makes perfect sense why they made that game though. Like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater originally was inspired by that arcade game Top Skater, where you stand on the skateboard and like do the stuff, and they always wanted to do that.
Yeah. And I mean, Rock Band did numbers. Like it's
it's
wild.
It was it was right at the peripheral.
Yeah, and it's a small box because box size got really important. As, like where
I
they were
remember
like
buying Rock Band and having to like put it on like an office chair to roll it home because it was like it came with the drums and everything.
And like they sold millions of copies of that. So Tony Hawk Ride made sense, but you like a lot of them. Like a lot of the Tony Hawk games.
Yeah, like I could like tell you, like I mean I've been playing every extreme sports game I can get my hands on throughout the development of this, from like PlayStation 1, Xbox, PS3, all that kind of stuff. And I think there's like good ideas in most of them. Yeah. Yeah.
I think so, yeah. I kind of, when they started reverting, that's when I left.
When they added the revert?
Yeah, so Tony Hawk 3, I was like, I'm done.
That game was dope.
It's apparently very good, but I just couldn't, at the time,
just didn't have the dexterity, or you just weren't feeling the
I think it's because I would play the vert skaters in Tony Hawk 2.
Yeah.
Rune Glifberg,
I
think was my guy, with the Christ Air.
Yeah.
Like left, right, square, I think.
Something like that, yeah.
And I try and do a bunch of that just because it was kind of boring to just do the infinite grinds, like what that becomes. Just the revert was like, I can manual now out of a out of a trick. This is rough.
You ever play Grind Session?
No, that sounds like it's for the Genesis.
No, it's PS1. Came out around the same time as Tony Hawk 2. Yeah. It's probably my favorite of the like extreme sports PS1 games.
Oh, really?
Made by a company called Shaba Games, who Neversoft ended up hiring to do the like PS1 ports of the PS2 versions of the games.
Oh, interesting.
But yeah, it had manuals before. Manuals were in Tony Hawk. Like great soundtrack. And it's like slightly different. There's like mechanics where you can add time to the clock throughout your run by doing like lines and stuff. Super good game.
Was who would you play?
Day One Song's in it.
Oh, okay.
And like he's one of the best skaters of all time, I would say.
Did you always follow skateboarding growing up, or?
Yeah, I have some siblings who were into skateboarding, so I ended up seeing like their copies of like 411 VM and like the girl and like what's it called, flip skateboard videos that they would bring home and stuff on VHS and whatever. And I remember my brother brought home the Rodney Mullen versus Day One Song tape, and I was like,
that sounds like a good tape.
Yeah, and I was like, this is dope.
Are you putting like FMV videos in this game?
Yeah, they're not in the demo yet, but definitely plan to. It's going to be the same like gameplay flow that you'd expect having played Tony Hawk 2 and 3 kind of thing.
So you play your character, go through,
beat the goals with that character, get a video 100% with that character, get a cheat code.
So then who are the characters?
So far we've got Mimo Seidler,
That's a good
Yeah,
name.
he's from Germany. He's like super, super good.
Is he into gardening at all?
I don't think so. Or I mean, maybe he is. I don't know. I haven't really talked to him much about that.
The Seedler?
Yeah.
He's got to be into gardening.
He's super good at coasts, where you like ride with no feet on the pedals, which is like.
Is that always splits?
No, there's a rider named Ivar Christensen who does it legs out to the side, and he's like, it's called the Ivar coast now in some of the unicycling circles. He tends to do 1 foot on the fork and 1 foot out, Mimo, when he's coasting. But we've also got Eli Brill in there, and he actually just started like a Learn How to Unicycle YouTube series. That's like super dope. Like,
of course. Yeah.
And Noli Ergas, he's from the United States. So is Eli. Mm-hmm. I'm working on the assets for Kyle Alviani, who was in a video part recently with Eli. That's like super good. You should check it out. I forget what it's called. Brainchild, I think.
Do people film it like in skateboarding on a unicycle behind the unicycle holding a camera?
I'm not sure. I've never actually thought about that.
Because I love that part of skateboarding. Mm-hmm. The idea that the like people who were doing the recording were also skateboarders. Yeah.
Well, I know Mimo frequently goes out with like BMX riders. I don't know if they film while on the BMX or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, same kind of style of videos. But there is some folks doing like some really innovative stuff with their videos and like with their unicycles even. Like there's a whole world out there that it's like diverse kinds of tricks. And...
Is it still like easy to have your own trick? I feel like it's limited.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of in like a it's street unicycling has been around for a while, like 10 plus years at least.
So it's Y2K.
Well, I mean, I think before that too. There was this one video that came out a long time ago that was called Defect, that like a lot of people, it was like their first intro to like street unicycling, featuring this guy named like Dan Heaton, who has a trick named after him now. It's called the Dan Heaton. You like put your hand on the frame and 180 while your unicycle stays in place or something. But yeah, I mean, I feel like there's a lot of nuance that hasn't been explored yet and a lot of potential ground. Like some of the riders out there right now are really like pushing the limits. Like Mimo has started doing stuff where he's like tapping his crank on like metal poles midair so that it like dings the pole, and then he like spins 360 out of it.
Oh, that's cool. And I imagine there's all sorts of shenanigans you can get into with the seat and standing on the seat or handstands on the seat or... Yeah,
and Noli created this grind called the swivel grind where like when you're grinding on your pedal, you like kind of lift your body off the unicycle and rotate the cranks while the pedals on the rail or the ledge.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Is there unicycle parks?
Parks? I mean, skate parks are unicycle parks too.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if there's anyone who's like made
like a specific.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Are you gonna put yourself in the game?
We'll see.
Oh, okay. That's a stretch goal.
Yeah, I mean,
you're the only. I've only seen 2 other people on a unicycle.
Yeah.
And it was these 2 little girls that were like 7 and like 9.
Oh, that was me.
No, I don't think so. Well, I mean, maybe.
No, I doubt it. But yeah.
But they were going in unison by themselves on 4th Avenue.
Oh, cool.
And I just assumed they were like some sort of circus family.
Yeah.
In town, because who would learn to unicycle at pre-teenage?
Lots of people actually. I've seen lots of like kids.
But their parents must.
Yeah, maybe.
Like it must be like I want to teach them to do it, so then I have like.
Yeah, I mean, I learned because I saw someone in like high school Halloween show dressed as Major Bedhead from The Big Comfy Couch, an old like Canadian TV show on PBS.
That's not the...
It's like a bunch of clowns.
I know the show, but that's not the star.
The star is Lunette.
So then who's...
Major Bedhead delivers the mail. He like shows up on a unicycle and like honks and his horn and...
Oh, yeah, because they're all clowns. I always loved that time exercise. I always thought that was cool. It was like, in retrospect, probably way too simple, but it was always like...
I mean, I tried to do it a couple times and...
Were you into like Lamb Chop? And
yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, because that'd be the kind of same era.
That's digging deep.
Yeah.
I had a little Lamb Chop doll thing that I don't have anymore.
I never liked Thomas the Tank Engine.
I
always found that creepy or boring.
I loved Thomas.
Yeah.
There's like, I have family videos of me being like, Shining Time Station, when like my parents got me like a remote control Thomas for Christmas.
But Thomas is popping now. Bigger than ever before.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah, Thomas is like staying relevant. Did you know, like, I think it was Ringo Starr was the voice of the conductor in the original show?
What?
Yeah. Or, yeah, I think it was the conductor. Yeah.
That's I guess I was into Brio. Like, I loved the Brio.
I don't know what that is.
Train sets. It was those, like, wooden...
Yeah.
Like, I gave all that
little
to
magnets.
I saved it all and then gave it all to my cousins when they were, like, age appropriate.
Those are great.
Those were awesome.
My kindergarten had a big set of those.
But never, Thomas the Tank Engine. But I was never a Barney guy.
I was big.
Barney scared me,
big purple dinosaur.
So I like Sesame Street.
Yeah, who doesn't? You know what I've been watching lately? I've been putting on playlists of like the Sesame Street musical guests playing their songs, but like kid friendly kind of thing. Like, there's one where like Jason Mraz is singing about going outside, and like this really good one where the Goo Goo Dolls are singing with Elmo about how proud he is that he like reached the highest shelf and like brush his teeth before bed and stuff.
Yeah, my favorite rapper, Fonte, did a rap battle recently where he was the banana and it was like Apple's rapping. It was like Apple rapping against Banana.
Nice.
And he wrote and did wrote both parts and performed one part. And it's just like, it's still going on. Like, I forget that, Sesame Street does not sleep.
Yo Gabba Gabba is really good for the musical guests.
Yeah, Yo Gabba Gabba was like, it was at a weird time for me because I was like leaving elementary school, so there's a certain amount
it's
of
for kids, so you're like,
I stopped playing Yu-Gi-Oh in grade 7. Like I was like, I can't bring this to high school. I'm just gonna have as much fun playing Yu-Gi-Oh and then not play it ever again. Yeah, and then be like, wow, high school is kind of boring because nobody plays anything anymore. But yeah, I was aware of Yo Gabba Gabba and those weird elf, the elves. Teletubbies. Like I'm aware of Teletubbies, but it was after my
Teletubbies was always like for babies when I was on TV.
It was after
when
my
I
time.
was watching it.
Yeah, and there was all that like satanic stuff, but I wonder if that because there was like kind of like
and like the backlash of like, oh my gosh, like Tinky Winky's got a purse and has like the triangle on their head, so they must be gay, and like people were like angry about that for no good reason.
Yeah, it's like
Bert
Nerdy's over there, man. Yeah, like we've already done this. Like it's fine. Like you grew up with Bert Nerdy. Yeah, nothing happened. And I think some other I don't know. Yeah, I want to say like Sesame Street has had some more very special episodes. I feel like
very special episodes.
Like I feel like where they've had characters
that
come
are
out in a variety of ways. I think.
Yeah, I remember like there was one character who was like a monster who like had AIDS or something. Yeah, and like there's like a monster who was on the show like in the last couple of years. I think she's like a regular now who has autism. Yeah, they're always kind of down to explore that kind of stuff in a way that like teaches kids and people that it's like people are different. This is totally fine.
It's totally fine. And I think I think that stuff is awesome for all media, but especially like kid stuff because it's not gonna. Yeah. It removes the like shock.
Yeah.
For a lot of kids.
Yeah. So many parents are like, oh, don't show them that. That's like adult stuff. Like, we don't want to teach them that, like, people can like people of the same sex or whatever, or like people can't, like, when people dress like the opposite gender, it's weird or something like that.
Yeah, it's I don't even I can't even imagine what that whole thing is like. Like, 'cause I feel like parents are probably more informed now. Would be my
maybe
feeling.
I would like to hope so.
I would hope, just because they would have hopefully experienced more. I mean, my parents were always are hippies and always like took me to the Pride Festival like super young.
Yeah, I never got to go to any of that.
And it was like, in retrospect, it's tainted the current Pride Festival, because I remember seeing some things that were like, I'm too young to be seeing this. Like, and it's awesome. But I think that helps, because it didn't even like, it's not like, it was just being there, and it wasn't even in support. Yeah. It was just like, go and just look.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it's a good idea for kids to experience that. I assume that helps.
Yeah, maybe exposure and celebration. Yeah. Like, anytime there's like, we're saying go people who are different, like, that helps people recognize that these tensions they have with themselves, like, don't have to be tensions. You can confidently be who you are and like celebrate yourself and assert your like identity to the world.
Are you putting any of that stuff in this game?
I mean, I'm non-binary, so there's going to be a non-binary person in the game.
Yeah. We've already established you are in the game.
Yeah. I mean, shh. You might have to get all the gaps or something. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to be like overt about that stuff, because the game is about unicycling.
Yeah.
But I definitely am down and plan to include kind of messages and advocacy for like social justice and like climate activism and stuff like that. Like, there's a huge vegan community in professional unicycling.
I could see that. I mean, in sports in general. I mean, I feel like the amount of vegan athletes is really went up recently. Like, it's just way more.
Yeah, in the world, it's going up recently.
Yeah.
But there's a team called Green and Steezy that's like vegan unicyclists, and they're all like super good at doing what they do.
That's cool. That's cool that there's like unicycle gangs. Gangs might be a harsh word, but like
gangs can be nice.
Crew or
Scooby-Doo gang.
Yeah.
Come on, gang.
Are you doing like? Are you putting any vegan stuff in the game or environmental stuff in the game? Like, I was thinking, I was picturing there being ads and all the ads being like for vegan food. That's kind of what I
mean, I haven't done any ad pushes yet.
Yeah.
But
like, there's a factory level, but it's like, it's the Beyond Meat factory or something.
Yeah, processing all the peas. I mean, I've got some messages in the credits that are quite overt about like, we need to do something about climate change right now.
Yeah, and that's a good place to do it, because you've got the most committed people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also don't want to like push people away who like don't want to hear about it, because like people are playing video games to play a video game. Yeah. Like, they want to escape from the kinds of advocacy that people tend to be doing.
And I don't know that there's any media, like most media I consume, I don't know that there's everything. I agree completely 100% with every single thing in it. Yeah. There's always somewhere where it's... So yeah, I think the credits is a really good spot.
Yeah, and I've got some other ideas too that maybe will develop over the course of the game. But yeah.
And I feel like it fits the culture of extreme sports.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, like, but yeah, it's wary territory to walk.
Yeah,
because Yeah, if you're too on the nose with it, there's going to be a group of people who like have a big problem with it, which I think is something that needs to be challenged in contemporary society. But at the same time, like, the game is about unicycling. It's not about advocating for veganism. But maybe I will make a game that's like that one day.
Yeah. Just go through all your key.
Yeah.
Just go through what people know you for.
Yeah. I mean, a while ago I was thinking about making a game about, like, choosing your outfit for the day and, like, having, like, these, like, prescribed notions, like, rain down from above that say, like, you need to dress like this, and then you only have, like, these other options, and then you have, like, a desire that's, like, to dress this particular way, but it doesn't fit with the prescribed options, so you, like, aren't allowed to wear those clothes or something.
Where do you get your clothes?
Most thrifting, mostly.
Like, do you have, like, favorite thrift stores? Is there, like... is there kind of things you look for? Because I feel like you have a very eclectic style.
Yeah.
Especially given being non-binary. It's like... I see you wear all sorts of stuff. Right now, you just like I love these pants, but I feel like I don't know where to...
Yeah, I mean... When I'm shopping here in Vancouver... I tend to go to, like, Value Village or Salvation Army or, like, other smaller thrift shops.
You're digging.
Yeah.
You want no curation.
I peek pretty regularly.
Yeah.
Sometimes I leave with nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah. The best thrifting, though, is in Portland that I've experienced.
Or just traveling.
I guess so, but Portland specifically has, like, some of the best clothing exchanges and thrift shops I've had the opportunity to shop at.
I like Portland a lot. It feels the closest to here, for me.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like, I feel like it feels the most, like...
In terms of, like, attitude?
Just, like, walking around. Like, just, like, a lot of trees. Like, a lot of the residential area feels like the residential areas here.
Oh, and they've got this great program that's, like, the Backyard Habitat program or something, where, like, you can, like, register with the government to have your lawn be, like, certified as a backyard habitat. They give you, like, recommendations for a bunch of plants to grow, and then if you, like, get dense enough biodiversity in your lawn, you get a sign to put on your lawn that's like, this is a certified backyard habitat.
And then people can go in there?
No, it's just like,
just
we're, like, helping local wildlife. Yeah. Like...
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, like, bees can grow here, and like, squirrels live here, and all that kind of stuff.
I was watching that great series where they take 2 Chainz around to very expensive things. And then he goes like, wow, that's expensive. I wouldn't do that. I love that series. But they took him around bees. Like to like this boutique bee establishment where they'll make you beehives and stuff like that. And I was thinking I could have bees, but then I just worry about the like ramifications of neighbors and stuff like that.
Yeah. And there's the question of like, is it ethical to keep bees? Like, maybe we should be creating spaces where the bees can eat and thrive without necessarily holding them captive.
Like there's that bee park.
Yeah.
That I thought was like a Bumble advertising thing.
Oh, with the bee on the top or something?
Yeah, with the bees, and there's a bunch of bees around, and I was like, this is weird. That it's actually a bee conservatory.
Yeah, sweet.
And it's awesome, but it's kind of weird that it has seating, just because, like, I don't think a lot of people want to be around bees.
I feel like the public is coming around to bees.
Like, pro-bees.
Yeah.
They want to save the bees.
Well,
bees are great.
Even in thinking that, like, bees are maybe fuzzy, cuddly little creatures that, like, we do want to be around. Because people, I think, start to recognize that bees, like, don't sting unless they really, really have to, because it kills them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of pressure. Like, if that's how we worked, there'd be a lot less murders.
Yeah. People still hate on wasps, though. They're like, oh, those jerks that, like, they just want to bite you or whatever.
But I think that's also greed, too, because, like, wasps are not bringing food.
They are pollinators.
No, they're pollinators, but, like, I think a lot of bee love is because of honey.
It's like, we get this honey. Yeah.
They're like, oh, man, what a I bet people like maple trees more than they like every other tree.
Birch.
They get something out of it. The only 2 times I've been stung were by wasps and me stepping on them or the wasp being dumb, to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm putting on my glove and the wasp landed on my hand and crawled in the glove. And it's just like, I can't.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just going to get stung.
Yeah.
Because it's freaking out.
Yeah, and that's scary for everyone involved. When you've got a scary situation like that. Like, danger is afoot.
And I was like, why did you try and get my glove? Like, but, yeah, but I haven't had wasps sting me. Yeah. I haven't been stung. I have more of an issue with, like, mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Bugs that bite me that I don't catch.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of respect the wasp or something that stings me and I know it stung me. Mm-hmm. Like, I saw it land and sting me.
Yeah.
Less respect for mosquitoes.
Yeah, at that point it's like, why didn't I flinch?
Yeah, like, I'd rather experience pain than be itchy.
What about ticks? You ever had a tick?
No, I don't really understand how lakes work, and I don't like lakes. I'm a ocean.
Ticks aren't water.
Yeah, isn't that like you go in the lake and then you come out and you're covered in ticks?
No, you're thinking about leeches, I think.
Yeah, I don't like leeches, but I just swim in the ocean.
Yeah.
Or a man-made.
Yeah.
Or like man-made body of water.
Yeah.
Not lakes, but I didn't like the Fox show, The Tick.
Oh, the live action one, or the cartoon.
Both. I never really. I don't like the Amazon Prime special. Yeah. Never really get behind that, but I don't really have too many other opinions on ticks. Yeah. But I assume all animals have their purpose.
Yeah.
And that it's probably.
I mean, they can be a nuisance still.
I assume ticks.
You don't want a tick on your body. They can give you Lyme disease.
Yeah, and that's also like. Maybe this is gone because of the internet, but that's one of those ones where I was like, oh, if I get a tick, then I have to like. It's like cigarette to the.
Oh,
or something like
to heat up a needle so that it backs out.
Like, and you just hear that and you're like, yeah, I just never want to experience that thing. If that's how I have to do to fix it. What's been preparing for this Kickstarter like? What's it been like? What's it been like for you?
Well, I've never done a Kickstarter before. So it's a lot of new stuff. It's a lot of like crunching to like just polish up the build to like a good state. I thought I was going to launch it like 2 months ago, and then I was like, oh, I'm going to launch it next month instead. And finally, like, it's at a state where it's ready to be launched tomorrow as of this recording. Yeah. It's already out. Go download the demo. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, just kind of capturing animated GIFs and like recording videos and polishing bugs and coordinating with the riders who are in the game to make sure that I'm like making their likeness to their liking.
Yeah, because people... Yeah, and then if you have stats, they're going to be...
Yeah, I got them to assign their own stats.
Oh, okay.
Because I didn't want to...
Yeah, you didn't want to balance it.
Yeah.
And then that way you'd have to deal with them going like, what? I'm only at 85. Like, I'm better than that person. Yeah.
And I'm a little bit worried about some of that. Like, I think there will be discussions in the unicycling community about like, oh, like this person's stats relative to this person's stats doesn't make any sense because this person's better than this person at this. But I like to think of the stats as like that person's skills relative to their other skills rather than that person's skills relative to other unicyclists.
You almost need to display it as a pie chart then.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Like, you just need to... But I would...
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing the stat points.
That's controversy I would bait. I would be like, I would love if people are mad. Like, if I'm getting angry tweets about Joe Seidler... Mimo Seidler having too much of a jump stat when I have a video of him not being able to jump over a garbage can or something. Like, whatever reason they would have, I think. And then the patch notes, like... Yeah. Mimo Seidler's jump has been decreased due to him falling on this train. Yeah. Where do you see like unicycle stuff?
Where do I see it?
Like, where's the place that you want to see it? Is it on YouTube or?
Yeah, people tend to upload their stuff on YouTube. A lot of riders are on Instagram. I'm also like connected to like a unicycling Discord server, and there's like Facebook groups of like urban unicycling. And yeah, just
There's probably meetups and
yeah, actually, and like in Vancouver, there's a group that meets regularly that I have met up with many times who plays unicycle hockey together.
oh, cool.
Yeah,
Does that work? Like they have sticks?
yeah, hockey sticks, a ball on.
Yeah. Surprised not
concrete.
polo. But
Yeah,
I guess as a group of people,
it's
you
similar
like
to
being
that.
unique.
Yeah, yeah. Though there is like competitive unicycle hockey at the.
But it should be polo. Why is it hockey? You got people ride segways playing polo.
Yeah, but I mean, then you can't have the hockey stick. You can't
Is
be.
there somebody who's a goalie?
Yep.
Do they have the pads on?
No, not they don't tend to, but yeah, they're not allowed to like touch the net when they're there, so they have to like hop in place or like use the stick to balance.
When did you learn to unicycle?
When did I learn?
Yeah, like what was?
I was in high school.
Inciting. Well, I mean, you saw
Yeah.
the talent show. And
The talent show with the guy dressed as Major Bedhead.
Yeah.
Then I asked my dad. I was like, I want a unicycle for my birthday, which was in like a month or something.
Mm.
And then on my birthday, I got a unicycle, and then I just kind of went out and practiced every day for about 2 weeks, and then I could ride around the block after that. And since then, it's been like, I don't know, 11 years. Been kind of... It was in the garage for a while, and I like kind of stopped at like riding around and stuff. And then I discovered street unicycling through like, I don't know, I think I searched like extreme unicycle tricks on YouTube once and found one of Chris Hero's videos where he's just like ripping it up, like doing mind-blowing stunts. For me at the time, still mind-blowing, much of them. But then I pulled my unicycle out of the garage and was like, I'm gonna practice more. And then I ended up like breaking that unicycle real fast, because as soon as I started doing like jumps higher than like a curb, the spokes were having problems, and it was like a unicycle made for like learning and circus stuff. It wasn't really robust.
And it's old.
Yeah.
Like, and it was probably the Canadian Tire unicycle.
It was Norco, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the longest you've unicycled?
Like in like a day?
A trip, or like have you unicycled to?
I've never really tracked
Slauson
the
or
distance,
No.
but like I can do like from like, I don't know, Stanley Park to like here and back maybe 2 or 3 times in a
Wow.
day.
Okay.
Like I can ride for like a good few
Yeah.
hours and not.
Is that your, like, does that hit all your exercise goals you could ever want? Just doing that?
I think so. Before I really started pursuing unicycling, I didn't really have a exercise regimen, and I'm so happy that like unicycling is such a good sport for this. I mean, I used to skateboard, and I was pursuing like getting good at skateboarding. But skateboarding is asymmetrical, so like unless you're riding switch half of the time, you're gonna end up with one jacked quad and another one that's like your calf is jacked, but your quad is tiny or something.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, so unicycling is symmetrical. It works like your core and your legs and everything. And it's a fixed gear, so there's no like real coasting. You kind of always have to be pedaling. So.
And people love, well, I guess I think are people very well, do you have great reception with just people walking on the street when they see you on a unicycle mostly?
Yeah, most of the time people are like, they smile. I get a lot of, where's the other wheel? And like, like someone stole half your bike, and people who are real jokesters who want to be comedians.
That's weird, because they must have said that a bunch. Like, that doesn't sound like a joke. I mean, you just come up with.
Yeah, I wonder. Some of these people are just so quick to it, but I hear it all the time. Like, so maybe it's just like one of those things that's like really obvious joke to make, because like people are like, oh, unicycle, it's half a bike or whatever. But
this is, yeah, I mean, it doesn't have handles.
Yeah.
If anything, it's like
the hard part for me there is finding new ways to answer the question, because I've like got answering the. Oh, I also get, how long did it take you to learn to ride that thing?
Yeah.
Like, I've got like a script that I've memorized basically with how many times I've answered these questions, that it's like I want to find new ways to to make those questions fun again, you know?
Yeah, it's tough. I try and ask questions I hope other people haven't asked.
Yeah, no, you're doing great. And I don't mean
no, like as interviewing, like that's something I try to do.
Yeah.
Because being on the other side of it, it's super boring getting the same things. But because you unicycle and you're making a game about unicycling,
yeah,
like
I mean, I kind of know that
I would bet every interview will ask you like, when'd you learn?
Yeah.
And I only have one other unicycle question. Actually, I have two. At what distance do you go? I'm not unicycling. Like,
At what
do you
distance?
not unicycle in the snow? Like,
yeah. I mean, rain or shine, I ride.
Wind?
I ride. Yeah.
Like the windstorm days?
Yeah. I ride basically everywhere. If I go somewhere and I don't have my unicycle, something weird is going on, or I'm like wearing a skirt that day or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, snow.
Do you find that your desire to wear skirts affects like?
Yeah, some days it's like I like have an outfit and I'm like, oh, like this would look super dope with this one skirt that I have.
Yeah.
But then I can't ride my unicycle, so I guess I'm wearing shorts today.
And it's a unicycle, so they don't really have the equivalent of like dress bikes.
Yeah.
But it totally
and being non-binary, like,
but it totally fits the like non-binary to me too, in like a funny way.
Yeah.
Just because you're like bicycles too binary. It's like perfect.
Yeah, unary.
And what's the worst injury you've had?
Nothing too bad. Never really like broken any bones doing it or anything. There was one time I was riding really fast to catch up to a bus, and it was like a slightly downhill. And I really wanted to catch that bus. I wasn't even late. I was just like, I'm gonna get that bus.
It's silly to run for buses.
I think so. Running, I can run for. Everybody should run for a bus if they are confident in their ability to run. But when you're like,
don't know that it's worth it. You're slowing down the bus.
Oh yeah, you could. Yeah.
Like if you gotta make it, cool. Like,
yeah.
Like you gotta get there and you gotta run for the bus. Cool. I just kind of feel like a bus is probably coming soon, anyways.
Yeah. But yeah. So I was riding really fast for the bus. Kind of out. I got to a speed that I wasn't able to keep up with on my legs, so I kind of just tumbled forward and like slid. Like didn't hit my head or anything, but slid on my elbow. I got a nice scar from it. Here it's sound. Listen to it.
Yeah, great. It's it doesn't necessarily look. It's a scar. It looks kind of like a burn. Scar. It's not like a gash. It's like kind of a.
It's like
like if you told me that was a bruise that you have, or if you did that yesterday, I'd be like, oh yeah. Like, yeah.
But I also like got a little bit of rash, like road rash on my knee from that, and this one shirt that I have, like it's made of like synthetic materials or something with like some stretchy bits in it, and when I slid on my elbow, it melted the shirt.
Yeah, I mean that was we're from a tearaway era. That's a that's a common. Yeah.
So now the shirt has like a crusty little elbow, but
it's good to wear out your clothes though.
Yeah.
Like it's such a huge waste.
Yeah, totally.
Like in the world that it's good to wear out your clothes.
And if you're done with those clothes, give them away.
Yeah.
Like don't throw them in the trash.
Yeah.
There's enough trash in the ocean already.
Yeah. Yeah, donate those clothes. Or I mean you hurt yourself.
Yeah. Or repurpose them. Make like stuffed animals or like whatever.
Do you think about when you'll stop unicycling?
I don't really think about it. I worry sometimes and like consider the possibility of like aging out of it or like having an injury that like prevents me from being able to keep doing it. But I mean, gotta live in the now.
Yeah.
Like,
and you'll probably be like, I always look at it as like you'll be in better shape than any of the injuries that will happen.
Yeah. There are some people I know who used to do street unicycling but don't anymore because it was too hard on their ankles.
I can see that. But you also, I mean, do you need to be nimble on your ankles?
Most of the weight distribution is your ankles and your knees. Like it's much less on your seat when you're doing like jumps on a unicycle than anything else. I'm only kind of just getting into the sort of ankle flicking tricks.
Yeah.
Like I'm working on crank flips right now. I haven't landed one yet, but once I get into those, there's going to be a lot more risk in terms of like pedals whacking me in the shins or like not sticking my landing or whatever. So.
And I've had a lot of ankle injuries just playing basketball, and it's gotten easier. Oddly, I've never had like a bad one.
Yeah.
But I do it every so often that whenever now it happens now, it's not like it's way less of a deal.
And I feel much like less risky too on a unicycle than I did when I was trying to learn to skateboard.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I learned how to kickflip and ollie and stuff, but yeah, you see rolled ankles in skateboarding like every other day. Whereas in unicycling, like, I don't know. I did see a guy...
Because most of the time you're going this way.
Yeah.
Like, you're just going in a straight line.
Yeah. And there's no, like, you don't lose control of your speed because you're always checking your speed with your legs because it's fixed. I did see a guy at Unicon, though, Chris Hirawai, who I mentioned earlier with the Extreme Unicycle Stunts video. He was doing this, I think it was some grind down like a 12 set or something. And it was during a competition. He like grinded down the stair railing, but then like lost control of the unicycle right at the end, and it hit the ground, and his seat bounced up and hit him in the tooth and broke his front tooth in half.
Oh,
and
ow.
Like, yeah,
yeah,
it was brutal. But then he like got checked out by the medic, and then like was like, "I'm gonna finish this competition," and like kept doing it.
Yeah, you gotta try.
Yeah,
that crowd cheer. Well worth the chip tooth probably for him. Yeah, well, thanks for being on the question bus.
Yeah, thanks for taking me along for the ride.
It's maybe one of the better answers I've had to that. Yeah, most people were like, "That's what the podcast is called." I didn't know that till now. Is there anything else you want to plug?
I mean, Street Uni X. It's on Kickstarter right now. Download the demo. Support the Kickstarter. Yeah. If you want to check out my website, I do other stuff too sometimes. Sometimes I do music. Sometimes I do videos of me unicycling. daff.space, DAFF.space. Yeah.
No Twitter or anything?
Oh, yeah. Follow me on Twitter. At Daffodil, DAFFODILDIL. And follow Street Uni X on Twitter, at Street Uni X. No spaces or anything like that.
Instagram, Snapchat.
I'll leave Instagram out of it.
Well, thanks. And are you doing any celebratory thing for the Kickstarter? Do you have anything planned for like when it launches?
Well, it's my birthday tomorrow.
Oh, that's cool. So you're launching it on your birthday. You're going to get a lot of, I don't know if you're on
sympathy votes.
I don't know if you're on all the social medias, but that would be a good way of converting all the people that would wish you a happy birthday on Facebook that you haven't talked to. And
totally. Yeah.
Since the last time you had a birthday. So that would be a good place to hit them all up. I actually messaged every one of my friends on Facebook at the time of the Darkest Dungeon Kickstarter launch.
Yeah.
I just went through and messaged it. I don't know how much conversion that did, but it's really funny when you message them afterwards, and the last message you sent was the Kickstarter. Had no response.
Yeah. Totally.
Cool. Well, good luck.
Thanks a lot, Keir.